Thank you for being here for our next, it's a very important to do networking nowadays. You know, it's hard to sometimes get out and be in groups, but we really do appreciate you guys showing up for this, and we appreciate everybody that is on the streaming today, so they can actually get to enjoy this too. My name is John Ullman. I'm a chamber ambassador, and I work for Vector Bank, but you know, I like to be out of the office, so I'm glad that we're here today. Thanks for joining us on this hybrid. This is our second hybrid. We had one 2 weeks ago, same place, Jack Quinn's. Let's give a big round of applause for these ladies that are taking care of us. We are thrilled that they opened the doors to this facility for us to use for our meetings, so thank you to you guys. Did everybody get their order in for lunch? Fantastic. Just a reminder, we are streaming this today, so during the presentation from the UCCS, kind of keep the side conversations down a little bit, so because it is going to get picked up by, and when you're wanting to ask a question, definitely raise your hand so it can be addressed, and that way we can keep it to where the people watching this on their computers at their office or at home are able to pick up on everything. Okay? I will. Let's see. And again, the topic is state of UCCS. You know, UCCS has grown so much over the last, what, 25 years? Just recently, 25 years. They've been here since 65. And the amazing thing is, my son went to UCCS, and to see what it has grown since he went to UCCS, which just was 9 years ago, I mean, it's amazing. We have that kind of facility here in our city now. Is great, because I've been to those cities that have the big college campuses, and we have a great college campus right here, and it's fantastic. Just want to bring up Jenifer. Jen is, everybody knows her, so there's no introduction needed. I will say there's one thing to say about Jenifer. Great is an adjective for her. She's a great wife of a guy with a great first name. She is a great mother to Ryan and Wyatt. And someday she might aspire to be in a great office like Congresswoman, Senator, Governor, Mayor. I think somebody's going to be term limited soon. But for right now, she's at UCCS, so thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay if I don't use the mic?
It's the stream.
No, it is.
You don't have to.
If I need to, if you guys can't hear me in the back more, you just kind of give me a heads up. So thank you so much, John, for the phenomenal introduction. John and I go back chamber days, and Michelle Wolf is here, and I'm sure many of you out there. We go back 20 plus years of working together with the ambassadors and chamber and things like that. So thank you so much. Do I have a?
It's behind the laptop.
Thank you. So thank you so much for having us here and inviting UCCS. As your guest speaker, I have invited other guest speakers with me. Oh, sorry, technical difficulties. Thank you. There we go. So I will be giving an overview of UCCS and all the things that we're doing, and quite frankly, how we can help you in your business. Brad's going to talk a little bit about student life, because I know a lot of people have had questions about college kids and student life, especially during COVID. And then Dean Karen Markell is going to talk about the business school and kind of what her plans and her thoughts are for business education. UCCS in the chamber. So we have deep roots. Our chancellor, Ben Cat-Reddy, is on the board of directors. One of our deans, Don Rayburn, is the dean of engineering. He's on the EDAC. Gretchen Bliss runs all of our cybersecurity up at the university, and she is on the cybersecurity coordinating committee. I am on the governmental affairs committee with Rachel Beck, and then Stephanie Adams, who runs UCCS downtown, is on our diversity in the workplace committee. So UCCS and Chamber of Commerce, and quite frankly, this community have deep roots. So the history, so actually, do we have any UCCS alumni in the room? Nice, very good, thank you. So for you guys, you probably know some of this, but for other people, and actually, who in the room has been in Colorado Springs for longer than 20 years? Okay, so you guys might learn something new, but anybody who hasn't been here for 20 years, you definitely learn something new. So the history of UCCS up there on Austin Bluffs is we used to be the Cragmore Tuberculosis Sanatorium. That's UCCS's history and our roots. Main Hall, which is where my office is, opened in 1905 up there at UCCS. So if you ever come up to UCCS campus and you see the main hall, it actually used to be tuberculosis hospital, which is kind of cool. So back in the day, John mentioned that UCCS, we opened up in 1965, huge partnership with Hewlett-Packard, so we have nice technology roots. This was our campus, so it was Main Hall and Craigmore. That's what UCCS opened with in 1965. So today, from our baseball diamond all the way to our nursing, that's what UCCS looks like today. We have the new Hibble, which we'll talk about, Hibble Sports Medicine Performance Center, lots of cranes in the air at UCCS, so you can tell from our very humble roots to how much that we have grown. UCCS impacting lives and communities. Our vision truly is to give everybody access to higher education. We know in these COVID times, jobs, people that are keeping their jobs and working through this and surviving this a little bit more have college degrees. Our goal is to get anybody who wants a college degree to give them access to do that. And it's not just for their benefit. It truly is to benefit Southern Colorado, our state, our nation, and quite frankly, our world. We have UCCS students all over the world making an impact. So faculty and staff. So again, for a lot of people, if you've been here for a while, everybody kind of thinks of UCCS when we were our 5,000 students and a couple hundred employees. Well, here it is today. We have 894 faculty. We have 773 staff, people like me, and then we have 1,500 student employees. Students, a lot of people kind of remember UCCS is when we were a commuter college, 5,000 students. We're at almost 12,000 students today. About 2,000 of those students have the ability to live on campus. And a lot of people don't realize that we have dorms and that can hold 2,000 students. Many of our students are Colorado residents, Pell eligible, we're very proud of that. First generation students and military affiliation. About 20% of our students have some type of military affiliation. Student just from El Paso County, almost 8,000 students from El Paso County. And we're very, very proud of that. UCCS colleges, here's another thing a lot of people don't know about UCCS. So we have a nursing college, College of Business, which we'll hear from later, College of Education, educating our future teachers, Engineering and Applied Sciences, a lot of our cybersecurity, aerospace, a lot of things that are happening with Space Command, things like that. The engineering school will help with. Letters, Arts, and Sciences, which is by far and away our largest college on campus. That's your biology, your philosophy, your sociology, things like that. That's Letters, Arts, and Sciences. And then School of Public Affairs. Degree programs, so we have 53 bachelor degrees, 24 master's degrees, 8 doctoral programs, 30 certificates, and 18 educator prep endorsement programs. So again, from a standpoint of if you're looking for higher education or advancing your knowledge base, we probably have a degree that you're looking at. And if you're looking for a subject matter expert in any of these fields, we probably have somebody that can help you. Economic impact. So we like to say part of my role in partnerships is I like to say I create a two-way highway between UCCS and the community and the community and UCCS. UCCS, we have a great brand, great reputation. We love our community, but we're also vital to this community. $600 million in annual economic impact. More than 65% of our graduates stay in the Pikes region. A lot of our employers, especially some of our employers that are doing aerospace, DoD, they really like to hire our students because our students live, work, and play here already, and now they're just graduating from UCCS. So when you hire one of our students, they're here, and their loyalty to Colorado Springs and El Paso County is very high. Lots of pre-collegiate development programs, boots to suits, service learning internships, community engagement. We really consider ourselves, we love this community, and there really is truly a partnership between El Paso County and UCCS. UCCS alumni, 22,000 alumni in El Paso County, many of you in the room. 82% of our alumni in Colorado Springs are employed. So our students are getting to work and part of this workforce. Athletics, we have one of our athletic gurus in the room, Mr. Bo Kelly. So student athletes, one of the best retained populations of our students. They are students first, athletes second. We are doing our fall 2020. We have golf, track, and field. If you kind of see up here, we have 31 semesters with 3.0 or higher GPA for our student athletes, which is a big deal. The 2019 fall semester GPA was 3.2. Highest team GPA for the 2019 fall semester is softball. Go please. We have 2 academic All-Americans, 3 academic All-District selections, and 47 RMAC all-academic honorees. Very proud of our sports. If you have not, obviously we're going to say during post-COVID times, if you haven't come up to check out some of our sports, please do. Baseball, basketball, softball, soccer. We had an incredible season last year, cross country. So we're very, very proud of our sports. UCCS program differentiators, arts, health and wellness, and cybersecurity. So first for the arts, Ed Center for the Arts. How many, has anybody not been to the Ed Center yet? So I will encourage you, it is for the community, so we have space there that community people can absolutely use. And we have plays and programs and music and visual arts. It's an absolutely beautiful, it's 92,000 square foot performing arts, visual arts complex. We have the Zalabek Theater, Dusty Lou Vivant Theater, Chapman Recital Hall, Osborne Theater, Marie Walsh, Gallery of Contemporary Arts, GoCo, that's free to the public. There's also a smaller GoCo here in downtown Colorado Springs. And it's just, we have some of the best acoustics that you'll ever have anywhere in the world. It truly is state of the art. So I would encourage you, if you have not been there post-COVID, we would love to have you there for any one of our performances. William J. Noble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. This is our newest family member to UCCS. It's in partnership with Centura. This is one of the biggest partnerships that UCCS has done, and it truly is a sight to behold. If you have not personally come through Hibble and you would like to do a tour of where academics and industry converge, I would be happy to take you on that tour. Just grab me after this and we'll set up a date, and maybe a few of you can go. Right now I can't have more than 10 people, but I would love to bring you through there. It really is faculty, so it's UCCS faculty, and it is physicians initiative, and it really truly is where academics and industry collide. 3 centers of excellence. We have, so it's absolutely, am I moving around too much? Okay. So it is truly for elite athletes. I mean, we are home of the Olympics and we have a lot of elite athletes. We're also, it's a great place for your weekend warriors. And it's also a great place for athletes of all abilities. We work really well with para-athletes and Paralympians, things like that. Undergraduate, graduate education, it just opened. I mean, again, crazy times to be opening during COVID, but I will tell you, we have a cadaver lab there on premises, and it's amazing because our undergrad students actually get to work on those cadavers. I mean, it's a phenomenal if you think about what our students get the opportunity to do. And I will tell you a quick story. So I'm taking a group through Hibble, and I burst through some doors because that's what I do. I don't knock, I just come on in. And it was the cadaver lab, and there were cadavers everywhere. And once you smell that, you cannot add that up. You can't unsmell that. But I will tell you, it was absolutely the ventilation. I was like, how could you not smell that throughout this whole building? And it's because of the ventilation. And there's more high tech, there's more cameras, there's more treadmills. It truly is a phenomenal experience. And I will tell you, the best part of Hibble is that there is a retail component. You don't have to have a doctor's note to come in there and use our altitude chamber. You don't have to have a doctor's note to come in there and get trained by Olympic coaches on Olympic weightlifting. You can go in there. It's great for youth sports. If you have a youth sport team, there's so many different uses for Hibble, and it truly is. It's a community gem, and we want our community to use it. National Institute for Human Resilience. Dr. Chip Knight is one of our professors, and we all know right now we all could use a little resiliency. So what this is doing, focusing on health and well-being of all trauma survivors. We work a lot with our veterans, PTSD, but we work a lot with people who have gone through fires in their community. We will work a lot with people who are going through COVID. So it's all trauma survivors. And it truly, it's not mental disease. We're going through it, and it's something that we get to go through together. You are not broken. It is something that we can work on and that we can fix together. GRIT, Greater Resiliency Information Toolkit, is out there. I highly encourage everybody to take this. I'm a GRIT coach. We have hundreds of GRIT coaches throughout the world, and all it really does is it helps you. How do you reach out to your neighbor? How do you have a conversation with your neighbor to check in on your neighbor to make sure that they're doing okay? How do you make sure that everybody around you in your circle, in your work circle, in your neighborhood circle, in your family circles, that they're doing okay? And it's really doing it together, promoting wellness and resiliency to fellow community members in the wake of COVID-19. Cybersecurity, we're really proud. It's our cyber building. Right now it's home to the National Cybersecurity Center, and XI stands for Exponential Impact. Thank you so much. And then soon, the building, it's the old TRW building. For those of you who are familiar with on Fillmore, the entire north side of the building is going to be, we just got a nice big grant from the EDA, and our team working on that, and that's going to be classroom space, lab space, everything cyber. There is still room in there, so if you know of a company who is cyber oriented and you think that they might be able to partner with us, we would love to bring them through there. But we have certificate and degree programs, partnerships. We are one of the founding members of the Space Information Sharing and Analysis Center, the Space ISAC, which is a really big deal, again, in our efforts to keep the Space Command here in Colorado Springs, which is where it belongs. So cybersecurity, and what's really the beautiful thing about our cybersecurity is it's not just in one building. There's cybersecurity in business, there's cybersecurity in LAS, there's cybersecurity in nursing. Cyber truly is a thread, and throughout the entire CU system, so we're part of the whole CU system, so Boulder, Denver, Anschutz, and UCCS. UCCS truly is the cyber campus. Matrix Center, this was something that Nora wanted to make sure that I brought up. Just from diversity and inclusion, As we said, we are home to a lot of first-generation students, a lot of Pell Grant students. Diversity and inclusion is at our core at UCCS, and we do have something called the Matrix Center that examines the challenge and challenges the systems of oppression and privilege in society and implement effective solutions through comprehensive educational programming, literature, institute, and workshops. So this is something, again, this is something that you as the community, you can tap into the matrix. And again, it's just helping with diversity and inclusion and equity across all sectors. Research, we are a research institute. Part of our mission is to be a comprehensive baccalaureate and specialized graduate research university with selective admission standards. You can see up here, 263 journal articles, 43 artistic exhibits, 128 books and chapters have come out of UCCS, 394 peer review organizations, 18 million in funding, 25% increase in the number of new sponsored programs awarded, 117 faculty have submitted sponsored programs proposals, 35,000 in undergraduate research academy, 82,000 awarded to faculty in CWC grants, 477 IRB applications, 6.5 days to review time, 17,000 plus emails in IRB sent. So lots of things that are happening up at UCCS in research. And this is something else that I would like to offer to you and your businesses and your companies. If you ever have unsolvable problems, or if you have something where you're like, gosh, I just wish I could noodle this a little bit more, but I just don't have time because I'm running my company. That's something that UCCS can help you with. We have lots of programs. We have a Bachelor's of Innovation programs. We have capstones. A lot of our students have to do a capstone project. Maybe your marketing problem or your company problem would be an excellent capstone for you, and you could come alongside one of our UCCS students. How can we help your business and our city prosper? Again, this is truly a partnership, and I will tell you it's the cap and gown relationship. I don't know that I have seen a better relationship between a community and a university than what we have here at UCCS. You saw how many of us are out in the community, but again, we really want the community up at UCCS. So a couple of ways that we can help you and you can help us. We have something called Handshake. It's a great program where students enter their information into Handshake, businesses enter their information, and it's if you're looking for interns or you have jobs, things like that, and we put you together. Handshake is a nationwide program to where you can reach out to other students nationwide, but you can target Colorado Springs students. So I would highly encourage you, if you have not checked out, look at Handshake or gone on there, please let me know. And again, I would be happy to connect you with our career counseling so that we can get you set up on Handshake. Internships. We have 12,000 students, and they're all desperate for internships and work experience. Yes, we would love it if they could be paid internships, but we also understand that sometimes for small businesses, that's just not a possibility, and that's okay too. We want to get our students out and about. We don't want the first time that they're meeting you is the day that they graduate. So internships, please consider using UCCS students for internships. Workforce, we are your future workforce. We keep them, as Venkat says, we keep them for a couple of years, and then we launch them out to the world. So please, many of you in here were UCCS grads, many of you are parents of UCCS grads, please consider hiring UCCS students. Subject matter expertise. If you are looking for subjects or speakers or anything like that, please do not hesitate to give us a call. As I said, we have 6 colleges and 18 degrees. We are happy to help provide you with the subject matter expertise that you need. Projects, research opportunities, talked about that earlier. Again, if you have that unsolvable problem, or you just have something at work that you might need a little bit of help with, and it might be kind of nice to have a master's level student helping you with a project, we would like to do those. And then just give us a call. Again, getting UCCS out in the community, getting the community onto UCCS we are happy to help you. So I have trivia questions, but I'm going to wait until after Brad and after the dean go. And I'm just going to move off that page because I don't want anybody to research it. Thank you all so much. We will be here for any questions that you have, but I'm going to bring Brad up so he can talk a little bit more about student life.
So I have to take this off first. Got something in this bag too. I am a student life guy. So I'm going to attempt to juggle 3 tennis balls. Right hand. Whoa. Thanks, Jim. All right, well, clearly I'm going to need some help. So could you all stand up? Stand up, please. What really helps me is if I'm a former student athlete, runner, and when I was in college, what really got me going is a 3-part clap down. And that really helped my confidence, and I think that could help me with these 3 tennis balls, juggling these 3 tennis balls. So if you could just, work with me a little bit here. How about we start, it starts kind of slow. Start that clap. That's good. Okay, let's slow it down. That's good. Okay, one more time, I'm going to try. I think I'm there. 3. Get closer. Thank you. So clearly, you might be wondering right now, asking yourselves, why is this guy juggling? Believe me, I ask myself that every day. But more on this juggling thing later, because it does relate to what I'm going to share with you today. So, as Jen mentioned, my name is Brad Baer. I'm the Senior Executive Director of Student Life and Assessment at UCCS. I've been at UCCS for 13 years. I cannot believe that. I love my job. I love UCCS and all the things I get to do with these amazing students every day. One of the things that you might have gotten is some background information, but the areas I oversee are most of the co-curricular programs on campus, to include your student clubs, your organizations, your student government, Greek life, sororities and fraternities. I work with key leadership programs and development of leadership among students and the co-curricular side. I also work in a few student services areas. I work with Veteran Military Affairs, Disability Services, and I work with assessment too, because we assess all these things on the co-curricular side in the Division of Student Affairs. So that's sort of my background. We thought it'd be important to kind of give some quick facts about what's happening up on that hill since 1965. I've been around so long. When we turned 50, we were the Grand Marshals in the, we're in an Irish pub, but we have the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And one of the coolest things that I got to do in that year is work with a bunch of community members and campus folks. And we found our first graduate of UCCS, Arnold Taylor. He came down, we coordinated with one of the dealerships, and in a 1965 Mustang, he and his wife, who must have been in their 80s, spent the weekend here in Colorado Springs. They were living in Kansas, and we were in the parade. We've evolved since that time. We are now, when I arrived on campus in 2008, there were 4,000 less students than there are today. Jen mentioned an on-campus component of living. Since my time there, we've built 2 new housing villages. We used to just have 1. So we have 3 residence communities sprinkled throughout. But during that time, we have almost 200 clubs and organizations. We have, and this is all looking back a year. So this is looking at 2019-20. So on the books, we had 6,300 students that were members of those student clubs and organizations. And they put on events, right, based on their interest. And they brought over 1,000 programs to the campus targeted at students. So think about academics, honor societies, special interest groups, club sports, faith-based organizations, civic organizations that do a lot of volunteering. That's sort of that component of organizations. When I arrived, probably half as many. under 100 clubs about a decade ago. And so we are evolving and growing. Student activities, those are your traditional student events on campus, 200 events a year. Our students swipe in or scan in with their student IDs, and so you're like, well, how do you know this many people were there? Well, over the course of all last year, over 14,000 students were engaged in some aspect of these highlight events that I list here. So we do have Clyde's kickoff. Our mascot's name is Clyde. That's what Clyde means. I should have put a trivia question in there too, because Clyde's name used to be Boomer back in 2008. There was a big competition of naming the new mascot. Disorientation week is your orientation week in the fall. We do club fairs, rafting trips with students. We do a traditional bonfire with our homecoming. Yes, we don't have football, but we do have soccer. And we coordinate with men's and women's soccer. And during that period, we have a bonfire host those games every year. We have Winter Welcome Week. We do a spring fling kind of called War Days. And then we do an annual significant speaker. Some of you may have attended those. We've been doing that for 10 years, where we bring in a highlight speaker from that famous person to come and talk. LeVar Burton, we've had Neil deGrasse Tyson, we've had Bill Nye the Science Guy, just to name a few. And of course, we do some things like concerts. So those are kind of the clubs, organizations, some of the activities we provide to the students. Go. The next piece is I'm going to focus in that I really think pertains a lot to where that partnership could be even more amplified after our conversations today is student leadership. So the Chancellor's Leadership class is our premier leadership program on campus. It's one of our top scholarships. Students receive a $4,000 scholarship. The program's been around for 20 years. Students can participate for up to 4 years in the program. You see kind of the students that are in it, there's 40. They're at all different years in their progression. So we bring about 10 new students each year. They participate in academic leadership development theory. They take 3 courses in leadership studies. They have a Wednesday night seminar every Wednesday night, and it's a speakers bureau. We bring people from the community, leaders like you. I'd love to get your information, and we're always looking for speakers to come in, tell your story, tell your leadership journey and story to these students who aspire to be you. So that is a component of that program. And these scholars, we call them scholars, they participate in over 5,000 hours collectively annually in service, volunteering in the Colorado Springs community in Colorado. We have 164 alumni, and now I'm going to brag a bit, because I've been around a while, but this is one of our programs that we do have a lot of alumni that are starting to come of age, like they're middle-aged. This program's been around 20 years. I'm going to tell you, last year, we raised the money for these $4,000 scholarships. I forgot that point too. So we're always looking for partnerships there. But we were $160,000 annually is raised for these scholarships to provide to these students. Anyway, well, our first alumni endowment scholarship was established last year with a student that participated and graduated from this program. 2 years ago, my wife was having a surgery at Memorial Hospital. As I went out to get a glass of water, there was Rachel, the lead nurse on the floor down here at Memorial Hospital. I came back to work 2 Mondays ago. In my mailbox, I see a note, a handwritten note. It's an interesting time right now at UCCS. We do have some in-person interactions happening, but I don't get a note in my mailbox as much as often as I used to. I look in there, hey, Brad, it's Patrick. Remember me? Stopped by to see you. Anyway, we missed each other. I look at this guy's card. He maybe is a graduate of maybe 8 to 10 years ago. Secret Service. Yeah. Pretty cool. In the last 2 years, we've had 5 students that have applied and gotten into medical school as well. So just a slice of the aspects of this leadership development, how it complements their academic preparation, how we're getting these students career ready when they leave. And now the UCCS LEAD program. So 20 years we've had CLC, 40 students. That doesn't seem like a lot, right? So about 5 or 6 years ago, we were provided the opportunity where we have like 350 to 400 students that apply for that scholarship program annually. All meet minimums, the minimum requirements. It's a hard decision, right? And we're not trying to be that selective. So we were provided some resources to expand leadership development on campus, and we began the UCCS Leadership Program in 2016. We've had over 2,600 students participate in this one-day, experiential, highly engaged leadership development. It's about discovering who you are as a leader. We partnered with the Center for Creative Leadership in the development. It's executive style. Students that participate in this get a certificate, they get recognition at graduation, and the best part is it's a pathways program. So they launch into this experience. Now they know who they are as a leader, where are you going to lead on campus, and we are a living laboratory for that, right? All these clubs, organizations. And so it is a developmental aspect where they get to practice these things. You know, yeah, I forgot to mention, we juggle in UCCS. I was practicing this again this morning. I'm a little rusty since COVID. My son was like, what are you doing? But anyway, we do. So if I asked all of you right now, this is one of the, we do 5 experientials with debriefs in this leadership development. And we come out and we say, if I asked all of you by the time you leave here, and I will let you leave, I'm talking a lot, that you're going to be able to juggle 3 tennis balls, what voice inside your head, what do you think when I say that? Sure, bring it on, forget it, I tried when I was young, no I can't, right? So we take that metaphor or that analogy, and we seriously do break it down into steps. We chunk it, and we juggle 1, we juggle 2, and then we add a 3rd. But that doesn't happen in 5 minutes, right? So they get the task, and these college students love it because it's tangible, and you break it down. They stop, they get coaching, they get feedback, constructive feedback, right? And they try again. We have 90% of our students that leave in one day that have never juggled in their life learn to juggle. They take a skill out of there. But then we do a debrief at the end of that, and we say, was this really about juggling? No, it wasn't. Right. It's just one of them. No, good. You guys have the answer. No, this is about all the things that we juggle in life. Jen mentioned resiliency. We are teaching those skills through metaphor and experiential to apply to their life. And they did. They went from saying, no, I can't, and they actually had success in a physical task of juggling. It's something that they've always wanted to do, perhaps. But this is about grit and resilience and how you as a leader can develop. So that is a neat component of that program. And then we do have another program that we started that is specific for freshmen called Live Leadership. And we have about 30 students, and we're able to provide a $1,000 scholarship for those students that participate in their first year. We do have Greek life, and sorority and fraternity life at UCCS. We have 3 sororities, we have 4 fraternities, 300 participants annually in this program. It is evolving, a lot of people don't know that. And we do often have a lot of community that have been in sororities and fraternities are looking for an opportunity to be an advisor. So we're always looking at that. 300 for us is pretty good. That's about as many student athletes as we have sorority and fraternity members. And that program is growing. And they have pretty decent GPA that's reflected as well. We have a Student Government Association. Their mission is to improve the lives and enhance students' experience. They're student advocates. They're one of 3 governance on a college campus. There's faculty governance, there's staff governance, and there's student governance. They do really cool things. Back in the 1990s, they voted to build a family development center on the campus. And through an initiative, a few was established, and now we're able to provide a daycare on campus for our students when they're taking classes. Just one thing. It's 3 branches, executive, legislative, and judicial. They're very active, and they have over 30 members at the present time. So if you're ever wanting to get engaged with them as well, I know they're going to be doing something with the mayor. And Jen has a great connection in the community for that organization to help them develop as well. Student media, we do have a Scrod student newspaper. It's been around since 1966. And then we have a radio station. And it's web-based. It's an online radio program because we do not have a tower. But that's a way students can participate in and develop as well. So in closing, I will say that we are emerging and growing. We have lots of alumni, as Jen mentioned, in the community. We're always looking for advisors for these developmental programs. If you were Greek and you want, I've got cards. I'm happy to connect you. We have a speakers bureau, the CLC. There's also a mentoring component with that program. And we're always trying to get students engaged in that way as well. So this is our overview for student life, and I thank you for your time and for bringing me along so I can juggle those pencils. And in student life, it's fun, right? So we have a lot of swag. So this year's swag item, it's the year of masks, right? So all students got this mask. It says student life. And you do too. I'm like a game show host. As you leave that table, as you exit, you all get one of these. And they're good ones too. They have the adjusters so they turn your ears. Okay.
Okay, I don't need that.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to juggle. It's really a hard act to follow. So I'm Karen Markell. I'm Dean of the College of Business, and I've been in my role since June 1st. So what a really exciting time to move to Colorado Springs and start a new opportunity that has a lot of community engagement. So I am thankful to Jen for letting me tag along today to talk about the College of Business. So I thought I know a lot of you have probably seen me in one iteration or another on a Zoom screen. This is what I look like head to toe. I don't need any, constructive criticism. When you meet, I'm meeting everybody for the first time after I've often talked to them on Zoom for a while. So I'm like, oh, they're about taller. So anyway, just a little background about me. I spent most of my academic career as a faculty member at Oakland University in Southeast Michigan. I was there almost 20 years. I was a professor of organizational behavior and human resource management. So in Detroit area during all kinds of fun, exciting economic times. And Oakland is a very similar campus to UCCS, and just in the time I was there, we went from about 12,000 students to over 20,000 students. So I've been at a campus that has grown, and UCCS sort of mirrors that history a bit as well. Then I decided to take a leap of faith, and I went to be Dean of the College of Business and Public Policy at the University of Alaska, Anchorage, and I was there for 2 years. It was a great adventure. If you haven't been to Alaska, please put it on your bucket list. But it was really some crazy economic times in the state. So I was really, really fortunate to make my way to Colorado Springs and land at UCCS. And my first, 5-6 months on the job has reinforced that that's an amazing decision for so many reasons that I don't have to tell you all. There's amazing things at the university. Thank you, Jen, for that history lesson. That was very, very helpful to me, as well as all of our student facts, because as you can imagine, campus looks very different. The College of Business looks a bit different than what you would ordinarily see. So that has been, one of my challenges. But the really reassuring thing is that we have amazing students, we have amazing faculty, and the campus and the community has been so supportive in kind of getting me up to speed. So I thought I would spend a few minutes sort of talking about what's new in the College of Business. How many of you are College of Business alumni? That's what I like to see. So, you're familiar, we have obviously the traditional portfolio of graduate and undergraduate degrees, but some of the really exciting things that I think the college is doing, and I think the college has had a long history of being innovative and thinking about what the community needs in terms of workforce development, are some of the new programs that have been underway and are launching. So we've been developing a whole host of programs, undergraduate, certificate. I'm super excited about an executive doctorate that's launching in the fall of 21. I'm struggling with what day and year it is, as you probably all are as well. But that is launching in fall of 21, and we're recruiting students for that. So that's a 3-year program that's really geared towards executives who want that, level beyond. It's an applied doctorate program, so you would do an applied project. And we're focusing that program initially in cybersecurity. So for an executive doctorate with a cybersecurity emphasis. It's the first DBA in the CU system, and I'm really excited that it's in the College of Business at UCCS. Not that there's any competition across the system at all. Another exciting thing is we have a master's degree and we have an undergraduate degree in sports management, but we now have an emphasis in sports management at the MBA level as well. So that's starting to bring in some new students that are interested, obviously, are working in the community in the sports arena, but want that graduate degree. You know, I thought I'd also share a little bit about, we've been doing a lot of work in cybersecurity and really cybersecurity policy. So we'll leave all the coding and the crunching to the engineers. But as we all know, when we have a cybersecurity challenge, we need often leaders. These are the leadership dilemmas, right? We need people to come in and think about, what does this mean? What kind of policies do we want in our organization? So we've been very, very fortunate in that we have over $8 billion coming in grant funding to really help with workforce development. That's a $6 million grant from the Department of Labor. And that is going to be implementing apprenticeship programs in 10 states across the country. And all of the coursework will be delivered through UCCS. So it's really cool. It's really challenging to try and launch this in the COVID space. All of this was developed, established, and funded prior to COVID. So, you know, that's put a little fun spin in it all. But at the end of the day, we're going to have students, particularly targeting towards underrepresented groups. So it could be everything from military who are figuring out their career transition to other types of underrepresented groups and helping with career mobility through a certificate program. And the first 3,000 students that come in, the College of Business is giving $500 scholarships to those students. And then there's also some support for the employers who are engaged in this. So if your organization might be interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to me as well. Then we also recently received a $2 million two-year grant to train faculty in how to teach these courses across the country. So that's another sort of piece of it. When we think about workforce development, obviously we want students to be trained, but we need to have educated faculty teaching those students. And this is obviously a very emerging field, not just in our community, but nationwide. Some other exciting things that I think are really, really can distinguish the College of Business is how we help our students be day one professionals. So for those of you that graduated a few years ago, we recently launched a program called ROAR, which is all about career readiness. And it's a 3-credit sequence of courses that do everything from introduce students to, am I running out of time? Okay.
No, you're
just
fine.
do this if you, because I'm a faculty member at Harvard, I could go on.
You have at least 2 more.
Is a career readiness program. And so that does everything from introduce students to what are the different majors in business. So I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea, like, what is supply chain? You know, you don't even think about that when you're starting your college career. And then by the time they graduate, they got a polished resume, they've had a mock interview, they've had an internship, and here's my shameless plug, they have a community mentor. So if any of you in the universe are interested in working with a student, it's a fairly minimal time commitment. But again, we want to partner our students with mentors that can help them make that transition. And that's something that students do right upon graduation. Let me think if there's anything else. I talked about our new programs. I talked about ROAR. I talked about our grants. And so with that, do you have any questions for me? Because I always like to answer questions.
Yeah, let's bring Brad up too.
Okay, come on up, Brad and Jen.
And while you're thinking of an amazing question, because We are a college and we do want you to be curious and ask questions. We have trivia. So here, I'm gonna give you this one because,
Okay, sure.
so I have one trivia question. My trivia question is, from the baseball diamond all the way up campus, up our Spine Road to our nursing school, how long is UCCS? Not 4 miles.
1 mile.
Not 1 mile.
2 miles.
Close?
2.5.
2.5. Win-win, chicken dinner. You did a good job. Okay, now you're doing.
Okay, mine relates to all the statistics I shared. You guys were taking notes, right? Just joking. It doesn't. Long time ago, we now have a mountain lion as our mascot. We're very proud of that. In fact, but that wasn't always our mascot. It wasn't always a mountain lion. Does anyone know what one of our first mascots was? Boomer was the name of one of the first mascots. What was the actual entity of the mascot?
Gold?
Gold? I think that was one of them, but I'm not thinking about gold. This is sort of another creature.
Somebody here said giraffe.
That's right.
Oh.
Okay.
Streaming. That's awesome.
That's right.
It'll pick it up at the chamber.
Give it to the chamber.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Maybe that's
Our
what happened.
ferocious giraffe. It is true. I mean, because I was like, this was our but I think there was a connection with the zoo.
That is awesome. Do you guys have any questions for any of us?
So being native to Colorado Springs and then going to CU Boulder 20 plus years ago, the kind of laughable joke was that UCCS was going to become the flagship of the CU system. Fast forward to now, and that is not like as laughable as it once was. Is that still kind of a rumor that's circulating? Because the growth has been, I mean, just astronomical, and there's still land, and it looks like there's still like so much potential for growth. Have any of you ever heard that rumor before?
So we probably all have like different pieces of it. So from a standpoint of, we have the room to grow, so we are a little bit of a growth campus. So I like that you said it's not as laughable as it was. But I will, no, but I will say we are very proud to be part of the CU system, and our brothers and sisters at Boulder, Denver, Anschutz, Colorado Springs. I think what you'll see, how I kind of talked about cyber a little bit earlier, that we're kind of really becoming kind of the cyber campus. I think that's what you're going to see, is that there's specialties. I don't know. I mean, we're very proud of who we are and what we are. And I think we know where we are. I don't know that we're going to ever surpass CU Boulder from a number of students and research. And again, we are very proud to be part of this family. But we are, but keep in mind, there's a giant bluff behind us, so there's not a lot that we can do. I don't know if you have anything else that you wanted to add to that.
I've been around a while through a lot of that rapid growth, and so I think that you see a lot more traditions on the campus and a lot more engagement, student engagement, spirit, honor, and tradition. And I really give that to the students back 10, 15 years ago that really wanted to see that evolve on the campus. And I'll mention one thing. I think when about 10 to 15 years ago, the average age was in the upper 20s of our student to like 30. And now it's like around 22, 23. That doesn't mean that we don't still serve all. I mean, Jen mentioned military population and others, but you kind of see that blend. I think we want to be both of those things. We want to support all of our students. So that happens with rapid growth too. But what I liked about today, opportunities like this, is that you all drive by Austin Bluffs with these cranes, but there's a lot going on inside. And that's a neat piece hearing from the College of Business too, of all the cool things that have happened. So.
Well, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to demean it. It was just, kind of the inner.
Oh, we know what you say about us up in
Well, no,
Boulder.
I'm so proud to have it. I'm so proud that it
We know.
Springs, and it is, being involved in the cybersecurity and everything else. It is mind-blowing to see what is.
And honestly, thank you. Like, that's a thank you to the chamber for inviting us. That's a big, we want you guys to be proud of us, and we want you to be proud that you have UCCS in your backyard. So we want you all to become UCCS ambassadors. And as you go forward and you're talking to parents about where are their students thinking about going to college, It's not, you're just not looking straight over UCCS. I think there's a hand. Yes, ma'am.
You do need to support UCCS.
Well, thank you for asking. Bo and Alyssa are here with us. We love our students, and a lot of our students are working students. And it's not working to, buy a new t-shirt. It's working to put food on their tables. It's working to pay for their rent. And a lot of our students need financial help and scholarships. If that is something, if you or your company, if you're interested in supporting UCCS and our students through scholarship, and it's really truly helping them pay for their college, I would encourage you to talk to Alyssa or Bo before you leave. And again, every little bit helps. $25 to $25,000. Every little bit helps. We kind of pull it all together, and we have some incredible students that put those dollars to really good use. So thank you for that question.
And I'll just add to that, given that we're in this pandemic, we see students that are having definitely heightened levels of crisis and stress, and those things. We've had to really dramatically reduce campus employment this year because we just don't have people on campus. And unfortunately, that really puts our students at a disadvantage. So there are some specialized funds that are helping students just solve those immediate needs. So if you're thinking about a holiday something, that's definitely something that I know would be put to good use.
Yeah, I would just flip the data that Jen shared at the beginning. If you saw those statistics, there's 1,500 on a traditional year, not a non-COVID year. 1,500 student employees. There's more student employees than there are staff on the campus. We depend on our students. And they do get, this is a connection point for them too, from a student development side, a cohort that they get to know and feel connected to the university while making some money to support their education. But about 67 to 68% of our students want a job of some sort. And that is a little bit different percentage than maybe a student percentage at Boulder. Someone was sharing us, teasing us about Boulder. But, yeah, that's good.
I'll get turned. Don't get me wrong.
I know we have a couple more minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Right, I have two things. One, a compliment. So I work for Something House Writing Company. We're involved in their internship programs. We do mentoring, we do a lot of different things. And we just recently signed up to do Boots and Suits.
Thank you.
Which was a new one for us. And the compliment is you guys make it easy. Like, we got the packet, and I wasn't sure, you never know what to expect in a mentorship. Sometimes it's a huge time commitment, and it was very well detailed. It took all the guesswork away. We have it scheduled, we know what we're doing, and we're moving forward. So it just made it very easy. So thank you for that.
Thank you for doing that.
And the second one, I have a number of people from at the firm who are young alumni, and they're in the alumni association, and they always ask, what are you guys doing to reach out to the young professional alumni that you have sent out to the community? So just kind of want to know a little more about that.
Yeah, so we have an entire department of 2 people. but that it's Joanna Bean and her team, and it is alumni, and that is something that we truly are putting a little bit more of a focus on and working more with our alumni, because 8,000 students just from El Paso County, and 25, it really is working more with our alumni. I would encourage, if you know of alumni or if you are an alumni, go check out our website and just go straight to the alumni page. They do a great job of highlighting our alumni and what they're doing and all the cool places that they are. But also there's volunteer opportunities on UCCS for alumni. We didn't even talk about the tree challenge and what UCCS is doing with the city and the 150th celebration. But there's lots of ways for alumni to pour back into UCCS, and we hope that alumni kind of left there saying, I got a good education, I have a good job, I have good friends, so that they want to pour back into the university. So I would encourage them to seek out the alumni office a little bit, but if you know of somebody, I'm happy to connect Joanna, and they will go seek them out as well.
And I'm just going to jump in with my shameless plug again.
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate in the College of Business to have a dedicated person for alumni. So we have an alumni advisory board. I hope when the world reopens, we can do some more activities and engage. So, and we provide through our Career Center support for alumni who might be back looking for a job or needing that kind of support as well.
Thank you. And I think, Emma, you're probably going to,
Emma's going to cut
I
us
think
off.
we're,
I wanted to have
Sure.
you talk about the desk program.
Oh, sure. The great desk giveaway. UCCS, we did some cleaning up, some spring cleaning, and all of these desks, over 100 desks. And when we're saying desks, it's the individual. So imagine the single chair with the wood top. They were all stored at the cyber building. Well, as we said, we just got an amazing grant from EDA, Economic Development Association, and we are going to be putting in our classrooms, our lab space, things like that. So now those desks need to go away and find a really good home. So on Saturday, November 14th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., first come, first serve while supplies last. If you know of somebody who has a student who is working from home and doing schooling from home and they need their own learning space, we would love to give them one of those desks. So again, swing by the cyber building, which is the old TRW building off of Nevada there, anytime between 10 and 2, and it's while supplies last, we will gladly hand you an individualized desk for your at-home learner. So thank you.
And what day? 19th?
Saturday the 14th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. cyber building. That's it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate that. Keep in mind, guys, the most important part of UCCS is the CS, Colorado Springs. Our community is driven by business, and that's why we are all here, is to connect with everybody else. So keep in mind, we do have a lot of events coming up. We're going to have more of these connect events. We're still going to be doing a lot of virtual events. Anybody, there's not a limit on the virtual events, and we're not even putting limits on these connectors. So
Well, I mean,
please, if you can attend.
There's limits, like
Well,
number of people. Like Kenny's like,
You know your role, John.
all right. Okay. So, upcoming events, 2020 Maximize Your Membership. It's Jumpstart Your Member Benefits. That's on Tuesday, November 10th, next Tuesday. And this is to help you learn how to use your membership with the Chamber and EDC to your best potential. Because believe me, folks, the Chamber doesn't want you spending money for a membership and not using it. The best way to do that is to do this, maximize your membership, learn how to be involved, learn how to get out there and meet other people and maximize your business in this membership. Special edition Chamber Connect Nonprofits is ready for the Giving Tuesday. They're having a meeting on November 11th, again, virtual meeting. You can see all these out at the Chamber's website. That's a quick and to the point of class about giving, covering Giving Tuesday strategies, such as preparation overview, creative ideas, digital fundraising, goals and objectives, media outreach. Hybrid event is the How to Get and Give Referrals for Your Business, Small Business Roundtable. That's going to be on Thursday, November 12th. That's next Thursday. During the roundtable, they're going to be discussing about getting and giving referrals. Believe me, folks, our community is built upon referrals. Word of mouth. That's your best advertising. This is a way to learn and to connect and be able to maximize that. And then the next Connects, Chamber Connects. This is going to be big, guys. You're going to want to register for this. It's going to be right here at Jack Quinn's again. Thursday, November 12th. November 19th, 2 weeks from today. You're going to hear about from RTA Architects, Olive Real Estate, Norwood Development, and J.D. Dunn about the new and exciting real estate projects coming to Colorado Springs. It's about the changing skyline of our city right here downtown. So register for these events out on the Chamber's website. Again, this is also will be virtual, so you can actually log into this if you're not able to attend in person. Do we have any other event announcements from any of you? Crickets. All right, guys. Thank you again. Hey, let's give another hand to the Jack Quinn staff. Thank you guys for being here. Thank UCCS for the presentations. Who's going to sign up for the tour at Hibble with Jim? All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.